What are you talking about, Joe? What? Who told you I'm streaming video games live on the internet? Oh, that's right. She did mention that. She did mention the fact that I am doing that. Well, enough people have been harping on me to actually do it, so I gave in. Yeah, it's not anything elaborate. I'm just using like the Twitch streaming option through the Xbox. So like it's not like you can't see me while I play. It's just the game, and so far I've done it. I don't know 4 or 5 times now. I try to do it like every day, like at least for an hour or whatever. Just to kind of get like into the routine of getting on and streaming. And then I need to start using my headset so I can actually talk and people can hear me. That sort of thing. But it's just like practice trying to get to it, like just kind of get into the feel of, you know, not just sitting there pushing buttons and, actually talking and whatever. So tomorrow will be the first official stream. Friday. Yeah, the 1st of July. I picked that. I thought eventually at random. I was like, wait, actually, it's the first. That actually makes sense. Or I was going to pick Thursday, and then I was like, oh, wait, the 1st is, 1st of July. Kind of makes sense that way, so I'll do the official. And then I have a schedule set, kind of just not, obviously not for, like, set in stone, but I kind of plan on at least 1 hour of streaming on Fridays, every Friday on there. So right now, I'm looking at, like, 5 to 6, like that time, like right in there. Yeah, and I might play for more than an hour, but at least an hour I'll try to play for every Friday at least, and then throughout the week I'll jump on and play at random times, but for sure. And then right now it's branded under my name, but Paige is like, you should make it under the podcast stuff, so like it's like crossing and whatever. And I was like, all right, well, because I already uploaded, because Twitch, so obviously Twitch is like free to use for the most part. You can link all your social medias to it. Not that it does much other than let you like share two things, but also like let you link things to it. So if people look at your profile, they can see you have a Twitter page and whatever, right? So the one thing I was wondering, because if you're not an affiliate or a partner, your streams, your archive streams, aren't saved for more than 14 days. So, but what's cool about it is you can link your YouTube page, which also is free to do, and you can then export them from Twitch to Facebook, or to YouTube, I mean. So that's obviously an option to do just for like basic like archiving of it, so you can go back and watch them. If someone wants to watch them or whatever, like, oh, this guy is playing Destiny, let's go see what he does, and you can just watch him there or whatever. And after 2 weeks, the stored ones on Twitch will go away, but they'll be over there. So I'm thinking right now they're just going to my personal YouTube page, which is almost nothing. So I'm thinking about just switching everything over to be comes naturally, because the website's listed. Because in the bio it mentions that I do a podcast with my friends. And we talk about pop culture, blah blah blah, and it has a link to the website on there. So I'm thinking about just rebranding it. I still have my name, like it's me, but all the links will be to the podcast stuff. And then I'll put the videos on the podcast page versus my page, and then they'll live there versus living on my page. I can put them on both, but I think you can only link through Twitch. I think you can only link one YouTube account, so I'll have to switch it to the podcast one versus mine, and then re-upload. The uploading is way easier than I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be one of those things where you have to download it and then go to YouTube. No, it's like you link it. Once you link it, you hit export, you shoot, and it just goes right to YouTube. So you do nothing other than put in a description and do whatever you need to. And you can even you can have it break it into 15-minute chunks too if you wanted to. So like instead of having an hour or 2 or 3 hours, whatever how long you're playing, be one long video, you can hit a little checkbox and it splits them into 15-minute clips or whatever. And you can even do like highlights. So if there's like a section you just want, like I just want this, you can just clip that and then you can have that exported as well too. So I haven't done any of that because comes naturally. We don't edit shit. So that's kind of cool, and it's interesting because I used to when Microsoft had their own streaming platform called Mixer, I used to just pop on there and just whenever I was playing games and just whatever, and I would get like random people viewing, or I'd have my friends view or whatever in chat. Obviously, I don't have a setup for looking at chat and playing games and having people see me or whatever. And maybe eventually I'll get there if I feel like actually investing in it, like Matt kind of does and stuff like that. And a couple of our friends do it. It's just a fun. I mean, it doesn't really mean. And I had a couple people pop in and like randos watch, and then I had a couple like my friends watch too, and on there. And then Twitch has a lot of things I didn't know were a thing. Like there's like raids, which I thought was very like sounded very like mean. I was like when the police show up your house, like that kind of thing. I thought that was illegal to do. That's swatting. That's different. No, raid allows you to basically if someone. So my friend Jake did it first because I didn't really understand what it was, and I was like, let's leave it. I'll leave it turned on, whatever. I don't know. It can't be bad, right? But basically, what happens is if a viewer's on, they can do a raid where they bring other viewers with them. And so like he only did it with his wife, so she was on. Then she started following me too. Shout out to Linda and Jake because they're out there. So that was kind of cool. I was like, oh, that's what that means. And then like so it was a kind of neat little thing to do. But apparently you can like set it up where then you can like push people over, and then if they're on, it gives them a notification, hey, check this out or whatever. I guess I don't know. I was trying to read it, but like. There's not a whole. I didn't go to like the facts section or whatever. I was just reading a little blurb. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then they have like I play Destiny, obviously Destiny 2. We talk about it here all the time. So I'm playing that. That's when I'm streaming, and I figured we'd stream some other games when I play them too, especially with a couple other games coming out. As long as they're an Xbox, because again, I don't have a setup to stream anything other than what's on the Xbox right now. But later down the road, maybe you'll get a computer with a capture card and all that fun stuff. But I've been playing Destiny. And then, like, there's an extension you can get, because Destiny obviously has a lot of streamers that play that game. Actually, let's see right now. If we pull up the Twitch app, I'll tell you right now. That is not how you get to it. There you go. So right now, just as an example, it is 7:41 p.m., Thursday, June 30th. There is 66.6 thousand people watching somebody play Destiny on Twitch right now. Yeah, and there's like on the Twitch community on Destiny, there's 5.5 million followers. So there's potentially 5.5 million people who could randomly watch you play Destiny. Like the top one right now, live, it's a kid by the name of iFrostbolts, which is either he's an Apple fan or just weird. He has 13,000 plus people watching him, and he's just floating in space right now. So yeah, right now there's not a lot of. There's a couple hundred people watching, a handful of people or whatever. Let's see if I do views highest. Yeah, so that's the highest right now is the guy on top, iFrostbolt, who has about 1,300 people watching him or so. So that's kind of cool. But there's like all a bunch of different things. But the thing about Destiny I was talking about before I got sidetracked is Destiny has an extension. You can sign in with your Bungie account, and when you're playing, a little thing pops up on the stream through only it doesn't show up on the video. It's only viewed by the viewer. But it's a little Destiny icon. You click on it. It actually shows you live as you're playing the person's stats and everything. So you can look at their level, what weapons they're using, what the weapon stats are for that particular weapon, what their gear is. You can look at what shader it is, all that fun stuff shows up right there. It's actually kind of cool, and it's free use. So if you're using Twitch on, I think it's extension that only shows up on interactive places. So like the apps on the phone, iPad, and then live on the website too. I think. Actually, I haven't checked if the extension shows up on the phone. Anyways, but it shows up on there, so you can click on the little, like if you're watching the video, like over here, wherever the person puts it, there's a little button with an icon for Destiny 2, and you click on it, it opens up, and it shows their stats and their settings and all that fun stuff. So, kind of cool. And I guess there's a bunch of those ones. That just happens to be the one that recommended me because I said I was playing Destiny. It's like, hey, by the way, this extension's available from Bungie. So it's not third-party rando doing it. You sign in with your linked Bungie account, Bungie.net account, and it will then push it over. And I think it said something on there. It doesn't work with Steam accounts, it has to be the Bungie.net or whatever. Or it doesn't let you use like Xbox sign in, or it has to be Bungie.net, which is linked to your whatever platform you're playing on, or all of them actually. That sort of thing. So kind of cool that way. But yeah, so I've been doing that. Just done it every day since Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday's gameplay is not up because I didn't know there was a box you had to turn on to automatically archive the video. I thought that was like an automatic thing. So that play is lost forever in the ether. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and this morning are all on there, and I just uploaded to YouTube for this morning's or afternoon's play I did too. So, and I'll do it. I'll probably switch everything over to the podcast one, just to make it obviously branded, because my beautiful girlfriend made that make sense to me. Yep. Yes. So right now it is under it's just under my gamer tag, so it's twitch.tv/refuse1513. You can go on there, and it's just, that's pretty much it. I don't think there's a Twitch makes it very easy, unlike some things where like doesn't give you like a weird thing at the end. It's literally just twitch.tv/ and then the gamer tag of the person, or the username they choose on that. I didn't change it. I've always used refused1513 for like every user fucking thing ever until we all, I think at one point, like Mike was like, let's change our names on Twitter and shit to like be something to do with the podcast, and then he went away from it really quickly, and then I never went back. But I think my Twitter now is like CEO Cody or something like that, because I realized it sounded cooler. Is that what it is? Right? Yeah. I had to check with my fact checker to make sure that's my actual Twitter handle. Because I wasn't sure if it was or not. Yeah, so I try to tweet out when I'm doing it, so it means obviously I'm going to switch that over to the Comes Naturally page versus mine, but basically it's just twitch.tv/refuse1513, and then it'll be on there. I don't think I'll change that to the podcast stuff. That'll still be me under my gamer tag on there, because it just makes more sense. But the show will be branded, I think, rebranded. I actually put a profile picture up, and it is my animated picture we all have for the podcast is on there, so it makes a little more sense. So, and then down the road, if someone else wants to start streaming, they can do the same thing. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I mean, it's just with it on Xbox, Twitch being attached to it. And I'll get to this in a minute, but I'll say so. Having it attached to it makes it pretty easy to do, because you literally just do it from the dashboard. So the way it works with the Twitch client on Xbox, it doesn't start streaming until you're playing a game, so it never shows your dashboard. Why, I don't know, other than the fact I think your email shows up in the corner, but I think that's it. But it doesn't, like, even if you pull up your home screen while you're in the game, if you bring it up in the stream, you don't see the menu pop up. It's just that, like, so, because you can hit it if you want to go in and change things. So what you only will, it even tells you, like, it will not start the recording until gameplay, and it has to be a game that can be streamed. Because there are copyright infringements on games, which some people, there's a lot of, like, there's very few games I think out there that don't let you do it. There probably are a bunch, but Destiny obviously is a huge one, because it's considering there's an extension through Twitch for it, and things like Call of Duty you can do, and things like, if you go on there, like, Twitch will have like pretty much every game that you can imagine. Among Us is on there, Fall Guys, all that fun stuff. But there's very few on there. But the Xbox the Twitch interface will not start recording until the gameplay is playing. So if you're on the dashboard and you start it, it won't start until the game's going, and it has to run for like 5 or 10 seconds before the stream actually will start going. So it was very interesting to me when I was like, why the hell is this not going? And then I read the little thing that says will not start recording until gameplay. I was like, oh well, go back to the game. Boom, little thing showed up, started recording. I was like, there we go. All right, there it is. So yeah, it's one of the things that threw me off. Not threw me off, but was different from what I remember doing it with Mixer. Was there's no real anything on the screen. It's very unobtrusive. It's just in the bottom right corner, and I think you can move it. Is just a little icon that has a red dot showing that you're recording, a microphone and a camera that either have a slash or they're active if you're using one of those two, because you can use a webcam on Xbox if you want someone to stare at your ugly face while you're playing games. Or if you're not playing in a dark room. Because if you're in a dark room, you have to have a really nice webcam to be able to see yourself, because otherwise you just look like a weird shadow in the back and it just looks like creepy. But also, to me, I thought, that's weird. And this is like, shows my like selfishness and like naivety. I was like, who the fuck is going to put a webcam that far away? You're going to see the entire room. And then it dawned on me, not everybody who's streaming from the Xbox has a TV that's set up fucking 6 or 7 feet away from them. They're going to be on like a small TV, like on like, or a monitor on a like a desk, so the webcam would be right there in your face. And I was like, I am stupid. I am dumb. I'm real stupid. Because all I could imagine is like if I had a webcam hooked up, it'd be sitting like on the TV stand, or like I wouldn't put it on the TV because that'd be a weird angle. But I'd like just the dark room with like me lit up from the TV, looking like a fucking weirdo, like in my house clothes. You know what I mean? Like that's unpleasant. No one wants to see that. Well, maybe Paige, but nobody else wants to see that.
See what?
She's not paying attention. She's probably on TikTok, or actually she's doing her work stuff right now. But yeah, so I haven't done voice stuff. Like I said, I'll do that starting tomorrow with Friday, July 1st. If you're listening to this, the day you're listening to this for the first time ever, I'll be streaming at 5 p.m. Arizona time, whatever fuck time that is, wherever you're at. And it'll be with audio, no video, no video of me, just video of the game and me talking on my dumb trash talk to randos and NPCs, because I don't have any friends who play the game with me at all. Matt every now and then, but they play at like 1:30 in the morning, like fucking vampires, and I have a job and a life, so I can't do that until I get paid for playing video games or making podcasts for a living, and then I can play video games at 1 a.m. in the morning, which I probably won't, because that just is terrible at this age. But what I was going to say, when I was looking up, because I didn't see an option for anything but Twitch on the Xbox. On Xbox's like how-to pages, it says to start streaming, go to the streaming thing, select your provider of choice. So I was thinking, oh, maybe I can link my Facebook to it and do like Facebook streaming, right? Or like, you know, and I already had a Twitch account because I watch people play video games on there. And I was like, maybe YouTube. But YouTube, you have to be like, I think you have to either pay for it or be a partner with YouTube to do video game streaming on there. So you have to be like big to do it. They're not going to let you do it. They'll let you upload all the videos you want, but you can't, you know, be on there streaming live or whatever. I think, I'm not too sure how that works. I don't know. I didn't look into it, but you can't do that through the Xbox right now. It says on there, choose your provider if available. The only thing available was Twitch. So I was like, well, I'll just use Twitch. Might as well. So. Like I said, it could be. I just didn't. It was weird because, like, I know Xbox, or I know YouTube has it, obviously, because, like, Tim the Tatman and other people are on there. I know Facebook Live has it, or Facebook has it. Facebook Live. Remember Facebook Live? Remember that was the thing? You know, Xbox, or Jesus, Facebook has it. I know, and I was talking about this with one of the guys at work. Apparently, like, TikTok, you can do video game streaming through TikTok, and I was like, ew, why? And then it found out that TikTok has like apps on TVs and shit. And I was like, wait, what? Yeah, dude, and I looked it up, and they do. Like, a lot of TVs, almost every TV platform has a TikTok app you can get and watch TikToks on your fucking TV. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I didn't. You know what? I didn't look to see if TikTok was on Apple TV because that'd be fucking weird too. Be strange. Like they're so well. I mean, you can do 10-minute long fucking TikToks now, which is insane. But it'd be weird. It's so weird to watch like weird dances and fucking cat videos on there. I mean, I would obviously because I do, but I wouldn't watch on my TV. I don't think. Seems like such a phone thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's so strange. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I was like. You can't really. How are you watching someone play like? Because you can do live TikToks. Like you can go live on TikTok once you have. Is it 100 followers?
Yeah.
Once you have 100 followers on
A
TikTok, you can go
thousand.
live. What?
A thousand.
Oh, 1,000. I'm sorry, 1,000 followers on TikTok. You can do live videos, live TikTok videos. I had my fact checker check it for me. Fact check. Uh, so like, but then I was thinking, do you really want to watch like? Because I know people will like apparently, people will set up like webcams and shit through their phones or tablets and use it to record. But you can do it like landscape versus like horror, like phone like portrait mode or whatever. And then when you're watching on the phone, you just have to turn your phone sideways, and then the video's normal. But watching someone play games on that just didn't seem like that would be that exciting. Like I will watch like if I'm like on an extended like if I'm on a break at work, or I'll watch like Tim's Hatman videos like from YouTube on my phone. It's a little different than watching someone for like an hour or two, on there. Like I was like, man, that would be real rough. But anyways, I digress. I digress. So yeah, that's a thing that I'm doing. So 5ish, yeah. Yep. So I just have to make sure I either have finished watching Stranger Things volume or season 4 volume 2, or take a break, play video games, and finish watching it because there's only 2 episodes and they're both multiple hours long. So yeah, essentially, it's like 4 episodes, bitch. It is 4 episodes. So, well, we say that. Who knows? I mean, there might not be a good break. Maybe they do edit it to me like like a movie. Who knows? I don't know yet, but we're gonna find out tomorrow. Yes. Yeah. No, I'm good. Yep. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Sort of. Yeah. Second week of June. Because it's on the first. That's funny. Yeah. For the first time in like 20 years or some nonsense. Yeah, I remember I watched an interview where they were talking about it. They didn't mention that reason why. But the Duffer Brothers were like, obviously it took them so long because COVID was a thing, and obviously you couldn't shoot, especially something like this where you have to have people in close contact with each other all the time. So they're still doing like COVID protocol stuff when they're not on camera with masks because you can't really work that into a show set in the past. But they were talking about how like COVID helped them kind of like not so much elongate the season, but work more on the season because of it. And then the interview asked him, "Is that why you separated it, like the two parts?" They didn't say the whole thing about Netflix wanted them to, or if that was a stipulation, or just Netflix is like, "Hey, if you want, wink, wink, we can give you an extra couple weeks and you can finish the season." Or they said it was, they're like, "Yeah, it worked out well because of how we had to edit the last two episodes because they were always." Originally, they were always going to be extra long episodes. Because they even said they could announce that, like, last year or year before or whatever, when they were planning everything. Because of how long they were, like, in production, they were able to add more things, add more characters, add more events within it, and, like, do more with it because of the time they had to shoot and write. But they're like, we literally got behind on making these two, like they call them super long episodes, not super long episodes, like super something, some kind of verb for what they were calling like extra long or something. They're like, we were always planning these two episodes to be like like feature length. They wrote them that way, they planned them that way, but they're like, it just Netflix just gave us. They're like, yeah, take your time, like do what you need to make it. Then they're like, well, we need, like, it just gave us. They didn't need extra 2 weeks or whatever to edit. They're just like, we are going to break these up, and that's probably the reason why what you're saying is what the Vox article is saying is Netflix is like, hey, we're not saying you have to, but maybe if you wanted to, maybe spread this out. But yeah, so that's interesting that the article says that, because like I was wondering why, because there's no way that they edited and did all the special effects for these last two extended episodes in those 3 weeks. It just makes no sense. You know what I mean? They just there's no fucking chance. They at that point they'd be like, hey, we need to push this back because this season's not done. Like, we're not done. But yeah, it's interesting that that's the fact, and that actually makes sense in a way because of how much I don't want to say trouble Netflix has been in lately, but like how they are losing subscribers. They are, like firing people because of the fact they're losing money. Which when they say like, oh, they lost like what they say it was like 200,000 something subscribers in like a month or whatever. I was like, yeah, but don't they have like 20 million? And then I did the math in my head. I was like, that's a lot of money though. Like, a lot of money you're already planning on getting. You know what I mean? Because you can't just like take all the money and then just push it towards the project. You have to have that stuff planned ahead. You know what I mean? You're not just shotgunning money at something to get something made. You're making these deals like, a movie with Ryan Reynolds and The Rock in it. You're not doing that 3 weeks ago and then making it now. That's like a huge thing that's going forth for many a moon before it even gets in production. That sort of thing. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because they often say, I think I was reading this thing about it. They were talking about that. They made like a lot of the media, because media, this is what they do. Were making this out to be like Netflix has never lost a subscriber. It's not true. Netflix probably has lost hundreds of them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like they've never had a dip. Like they've never. Yeah, if you looked at fine line, you'd see a dip. But we're talking average of what, 5, 6 handfuls of people a month. That's not going to be enough, right? But in 3 months, if you lose 200,000 subscribers, that's a hell of a dip. You know what I mean? That's literally millions of dollars gone because those people. Because obviously, like, people are cutting budgets because of this of the economy, and and entertainment itself is so divergent right now because of all the different streaming services and things like that. Like, it's just, when you look at it, and Netflix is by far one of the most expensive ones. Like, just flat rate, like a monthly fee. And I mean, they have a lot of stuff, but a lot of it is old stuff. You know what I mean? They don't have the, yeah. When Stranger Things rolls around, people are gonna subscribe again, right? But you're not going to have Stranger Things after the 5th season. So I know they're scrambling for their stuff. And like, they even talked about in that interview I was watching that they are already keying up to do a spin-off series. They haven't announced anything about it yet. They haven't said who it's about, who it's with, or whatever. The only thing they've said is Finn Wolfhard actually guessed what it is, and he's the only person that's actually guessed what it is actually going to do. And they have no details about it yet. But he apparently nailed it. Like, he guessed exactly what it's going to be about. And they're like, how in the hell did you do that? He's like, it's just a good idea. And they're like, well, yeah, that's why we're doing it. But how the hell did you figure that out with no anything? Like, nothing happened. He's like, oh, I just did it. And I was like, well, okay, Wolf Finhard? Yeah. Yeah, he's also like a super nerd. Super nerd. Yes. Probably. The Duffer Brothers. Yes. Will's birthday. California. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's actually in the interview I watched. They actually talked about that, and they mentioned a fan actually sent them something that a spreadsheet that had all the characters' birthdays that they've actually physically or said on the show, as like a, hey, you know, we love this so much. This isn't like a, hey, you fucked up, you pieces of shit. This is just a helpful thing, just because we care. Here's all the birthdays you've mentioned in the show, so you can have it for reference when you're writing. Yeah, and they mentioned it wasn't like a slight, or like it was literally like a general, just a mistake, because they don't, like, the Duffers don't go back and they don't rewatch the episodes. Like, they're just too busy because they're, well, creating a television show. So, and they're kind of like in the middle of like making an empire right now out of it. And they're working other stuff like Stephen King's The Talisman. Yes. With Steven Spielberg, no less. Holy shit. But yeah, so it was funny. They're talking about that, where like the lady was asking him, like, hey, like, what about this? And like, yeah, we know. Like, it wasn't like a, hey, gotcha. It wasn't like a, oh, fuck Will. It was just like a, oh shit, we fucking didn't do it right. So like they're gonna go back. Like I don't know how they're gonna go back and like fix that. Maybe like a mention of it or something. I'm not too sure how it's gonna work, but yeah, yeah. I was like, all right, well, that's cool. But I guess this is the first like, so they won't mention what it was that they changed in uh this season, season 4. They mentioned it. They said, yes, we've actually changed something already. It's the first time Netflix has let anyone do this, where they actually change something on the fly. But if you watched it Thursday night, by the next afternoon, it's different, and you can't even go back. There's no going back because there's like he's like unless you have it downloaded, you can't go back and watch the previous version because if you queue it up again, all new. Even if you're halfway through the episode will continue on, and you'll never know. Because if you go back, other than if you're watching it and you rewind, but you'd have to know where you're at, and nobody knows what the mistake was. Yeah. He's like, you'd have to be the most eagle-eyed everything to know what the mistake was to go back to that part. Because he's like, they're like, it's in these episodes, it's in these first 9, but we won't tell you what it is or where it's at. But if you were eagle-eye enough and you watched it straight, like from as soon as it was out to like now, and memorized it all, if you went back and watched it, you would know what it was. And I was like, well, that's not gonna happen. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So they're gonna go back and yeah, yeah. And so they won't. So far, nobody knows what it is yet, and they won't mention what it is because you can't go back and confirm it. So they can tell you anything. They're like, no, so and so wasn't in this episode, and then they spice them in or whatever, and you would never know because unless you had it downloaded, you would never know like what it was because you can't go back and rewatch it. There's no like, hey, this is the day. It's like it's just gone. It's forever. It's just we fixed it. And I was like, that's interesting, but also terrifying. Like they can just edit, like not on the fly, right? But if they could just digitize something in and out, like real quick, edit a scene out of something and then give it back to you, and you'd never know. Oh, yeah. Our fact checker over here just reminded me that actually 13 Reasons Why actually changed something digitally, or edit wise, and they edited out
The cutting
the
scene.
cutting scene.
Yeah.
So when in the so in the for people who don't know, 13 Reasons Why is about a girl who commits suicide, and then leaves these like essentially detailed notes about like why she did it and what all these things, right? So 13 Reasons Why, hence the name. Uh, in the original season of 1, which they did a season 2, which I never watched, but whatever. She. Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 So, in fact checker will correct me if I'm wrong. Uh, One is her death in the show is different than the book, but that's not the part. So what they did is they edited out the fact they show her actually committing,
They took out the whole scene.
but they took out the entire scene, so you never see her like dead in the bath.
Yeah.
You just know that she's dead, that she committed suicide and it was in the bathroom, but you never see the actual
You just see
like
the
act of
bathroom door.
yeah, like with the water running underneath it, right? Yeah, because that was originally before they cut it. Which if you have the DVDs, I guess you could go back and watch it.
Yeah.
This is what the Duffers actually said. If you have the DVDs for Stranger Things, you go back and watch the stuff they fixed. But again, you'd have to be watching at the same time to be like, oh, that's different. Really, all you have to do is look and see the time stamps and be like, this one's 47 minutes. Do it. It's mounted on the wall though. That's gonna be difficult. Fair enough. Anyhow, so yeah, they edited out the actual scene. Now they didn't change the show because all of a sudden she's alive. That would make no sense. They just didn't show the graphic nature of it. Yeah. Also, the context of like the thing I got from it when we were talking about it is in my brain it would probably be traumatic for someone who went through it to watch someone do it. Now, knowing someone did it, it's different, right? If you know someone eats apples, it's fine, right? Not that eating apples and cutting your wrists and killing yourself in the bathtub are the same, but you know what I'm saying. You're eating an apple. I don't want to watch you do it, but I know you did do it, right? I know people eat apples. I don't hate apples, by the way, anybody who's thinking this. I just using that example. But watching someone actually commit the act of slashing their own wrists and knowing someone who did it might be very triggering, and I understand that. And that is, I'm 1007% okay with you editing that out, as long as you're not changing the context. You're not brushing the fact that she committed suicide under the fucking table. Which, by the way, if you did that, that show would be real different. Yeah. Just not showing the graphicness of it. Like, someone mentioned, what was it? The fact that she was she was naked though, right? Said something about she was naked, and so it felt less like more intimate. I was like, well, if she's bathing with her clothes on, already something's wrong. But that's not the point, everybody. It doesn't matter the fact she's naked. And yes, she's supposed to be a high schooler. She's not actually fucking that age. It's the fact that she opened her wrists and bled to death in a bathtub. Which is a horrific thing to watch in general. But if if you know someone that went through that and they're really close to you, and then you watch someone do it again, that could be very bad for your mental state. And recovery of, it could be recent, it could be past, who knows, right? That can be very bad. So I understand making those changes. Also making changes like the Duffers are doing, where like you flubbed up, right? There's no like we're not like when they say George losing, obviously they're like they're making it a verb at that point. But unlike George Lucas, they're not going back and irrevocably changing things that didn't need to be changed, like making Jabba show up for some reason and then not ever mention that again in any context other than the fact you had footage of an actor playing Jabba the Hutt interacting with Han Solo, so you digitized poorly, by the way, a Jabba the Hutt into it and made Han Solo go doot 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 doot, and it was just bad. So don't do that. Like, if you want to polish things up, if you want to add in shit in the background, I'm down. But dude, some of that stuff was terrible. So like, yeah, it's a joke and it's a funny thing because like all of us love Star Wars. Well, most everybody who has functioning brain likes Star Wars. But like if you go through and you irreparably change anything, that's when it's like, you know what? Let's not do this. Let's not go back. But if you want to go back through and edit out a Starbucks cup in Game of Thrones, you know, it's yeah, it doesn't. You want to fucking digitize off the swoosh off of someone's Nikes, which I can't remember what show that was. I don't remember what it was now. It was a huge thing. It was like the Nikes didn't exist then. It was like some movie set in like fucking like the 40s, and the guy had sneakers on. They were Nikes. Like they didn't exist then. Ugh. Quit fucking looking at their shoes, you weirdo. You foot fetish freak. Which, don't get me wrong, if you're a foot fetish person, good for you, but also ew. But anyhow, that's all I had. Ooh, I'm waiting. Yes, I am me. Thank you, Joe. Yes. The end. Waiting. Wait. Oh, well, here it is. Oh yeah, yep. I've seen this already. Yep. Yep. Brand new model. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I read about this a while ago, but there was no pictures of anything other than I think they showed a picture of the box. Um, But yeah, it had no information on what it was. It was just like they're like, oh, LG and Star Wars are making a collaboration. And I was like, okay, whatever that's gonna be. But that's actually fucking cool as shit. Um, okay, I'm waiting. Nice. That's awesome. Um, yeah, that's pretty rad. Now, would I spend $900 more on that? Probably not. I mean, if I had the $3,000 just like burning a hole in my pocket, maybe. But that seems like a pretty big luxury, especially since I have a C1. You know what I mean? It's a lot of money though for for a TV that you're not gonna like. I'm gonna have. Can I turn that on? I think I'd get sick of the Darth Vader breathing every time I turn my TV on, though. Yeah. Do they make noises normally when they turn on? Like a chirping, right? Yeah, I was like, I think I have that turned on. Our TV doesn't make noise when it turns on, right? I mean, other than the sound of of whatever we're watching on the TV. It's interesting. That's very strange. Hmm. There it is. As of recording. There you go. There you go. Hey, so last bit of business before we wrap it up, unless you have anything else. Did you hear the big news about Halo Infinite? Sort of. Multiplayer. So, beginning July 11th, for 10 days, you can play the campaign co-op as long as you have Game Pass. It is a beta. And the other part about it before you say, but oh, hey, what if you've already beaten the game and you have a friend that doesn't? Guess what they're also adding? Mission replay, sir. So you can actually go back. Should have been in the game from the beginning. So this is what it. Yeah, I haven't beat it because I fucking went away from it because I have an attention span of a newt. So, so it says you won't be able to try this out on your current Halo Infinite save. However, to access the beta, players must download a new campaign test build and start fresh. Yes. No. Yes. Yes. no. So that also continues, says, no progress will carry over from your original save. The progress will not transfer back to your original game either. The full Halo Infinite campaign will be accessible, however, via online co-op with up to 4 players. So that's obviously different. During this period, players will also be able to replay Halo Infinite campaign missions with a new feature, Mission Replay, which was missing from the game. Yes, the reason why this is a test, for whatever reason they have to test for. I don't know why this has to be a beta test, because why don't you fucking, like, why wasn't this finished ahead of time? I don't know. I'm only guessing it has to do with, like, performance differences between different versions of Xbox or, like, crossplay. I have no idea. Yep, those are the ones. Brutes? No, not Brutes. Is it Brutes? There you go, that's the word. Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. So to finish this before we wrap up, it says here to get into the beta, because again it's a beta. Players have to join the Xbox Insider Program. There's a link on here. You just go to Xbox, and if you Google or Bing or fucking ask Jeeves, Xbox Insider Program, you'll get it pretty easily. It's very easy to do, and there's no money involved. You just have to sign in to your Xbox or Microsoft account, and it'll activate it, and then you can choose what you want to do in there. It says players accessing game from Steam have until July 5th to sign up. There is no deadline for those playing elsewhere. Again, it's because Steam has a different process for it. So you can only get this access if you have Game Pass, but Game Pass works through Steam on certain games. Halo Infinite is one of them. So if you are playing on Steam, through Steam versus through Windows directly or through Xbox, you do have only till July 5th. This podcast will go up July 1st. So you only have 4 days after that. But if you're on console, you have no deadline other than the fact that the July 21st you can't because it's over. But you have all the way up until those 10 days to play or to sign up for it whenever you want. So that was a cool little thing. It's cool that they're doing it, but it's also shitty. Obviously, it's going to happen later down the road, but it's just kind of shitty they're doing it for 10 days only, and it's a beta, and none of it is cross-save, so it doesn't fucking matter. If you've never played it, awesome, jump in with some friends. If you have played it, and you enjoyed it, and you really want to replay it with your friends, which sounds like it's not us, because that seems like way too much work, yeah, it's fuck all from that point, you know what I mean? Just saying. That's all I'm saying. Anywho, I think that's it for this week's episode, unless Joseph has anything else he wants to add. All right. Well, this has been Comes Naturally. We have been I have been Cody, and over there in the corner has been our fact checker. Her name is...
Paige.
There you go. It's Paige, everybody. That's it for this week's episode, everybody. As usual, you fuckers just came naturally.